I stare in wonder at your tiny frame, just to think that God knows you by name. He knows every hair on your beautiful head. He knows all your thoughts before they are said. May you grow up to serve Him.
Little babies born too soon, fighting to stay alive, tiny survivors. It's the neonatal intensive care unit that they first call home. Parenting a baby in an NICU means a world of new expectations, new language, new decisions, a roller coaster ride filled with ups and downs. But with the help of highly experienced and very giving doctors and nurses, the journey is made. Since opening its doors in December of 1893, perched elegantly on the slopes of Montreal with its castle-derived details, the Royal Victoria Hospital has helped save the lives of countless children in its neonatal intensive care unit, and the nurses have made all the difference. Quickly establishing itself as a center for clinical excellence, in the 1920s, extensive joint research by the medical staff and McGill University began. In 1926, the demands on the hospital for women's services culminated in the creation of the Royal Victoria Montreal Maternity Pavilion. And since 1974, the hospital has been taking care of sick children and helping children from the moment they take their very first breath of life.
You don't have to be afraid of what you are. There's an end.
But it was 46 years ago, there was a beloved physician at the Royal Victoria who had personally reviewed the charts of every single baby born as the director of nurseries. His innovative work in neonatal medicine and the treatment of respiratory distress syndrome, otherwise known as RDS, set new international standards. Dr. Robert H. Usher served as the director from 1969 to 2000. For 41 years, he was the man to watch in international perinatal pediatrics. His many scientific contributions revealed the depth of his clinical experience, as well as his powers of observation, original thought, and analysis. His development of the Usher needle helped reduce the neonatal mortality rate of children with RDS by more than 50%. His neonatal studies and his findings were endless. It's remembered that Dr. Usher used to stay up nights, holding and rocking the babies himself. His legacy of innovative care will enter a new era when the MUHC's redevelopment is complete and services are underway at the Glen campus in the neonatal intensive care units of the Royal Victoria Hospital and the Montreal Children's Hospital. For countless children, their lives will forever be woven with his. Robert Usher died from prostate cancer on May 25, 2006.
Lead her to a place, guide her with your grace, to a place where she'll...
Now we turn to the families in the NICU. Hearing the words, "you can go home," well, they don't come nearly soon enough, because babies often have to be transferred to another institution before they get to go home. And that's extremely stressful for the families. They'd rather go home and do the needed care themselves at that point, but there isn't enough equipment for parents to now return home with their child that still needs care. Money raised by the Tiny Survivors Fundraiser, established by Terramont and Danson Decor, will be used to make the transition from the unit to the home easier by supplying families with life-saving equipment. For Tommy and Helen Petrogiannis, it was the Usher needle that they attribute their daughter Robin's life to. In the year 2000, Robin was born at 25 weeks, just 755 grams, that's 1.6 pounds, and she remained in the NICU for 107 days. Little Robin was intubated for 21 days. She had a hole in her heart and was operated for a double hernia. Now Robin is a strong, vibrant 10-year-old in grade 4. She enjoys school, is strong in math, highly creative, enjoys ballet, makes her own jewelry, designs clothing, and obviously likes eating healthy vegetables. For Father Tommy, he says the staff at the Royal Vic NICU is the best he could have ever prayed for, crediting them with giving him the life of all the women in his life.
Beautiful, 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 beautiful boy.
And he was a beautiful boy. Now meet Alexander Johnson, born at 28 weeks and spent 4 months in the NICU. But just when his parents, David Johnson and Karen Azes of the town of Montreal, thought that they could take him home, Alexander had to spend another 2 months at the Montreal Children's Hospital. And then he came home to spend another year on oxygen, and he needed the equipment. The transfer was very hard on the family. Now Alexander is a happy, ever-smiling, smart 10-year-old that loves his Xbox and his entourage of friends and family, his cousins, his grandparents, and all the holiday celebrations. Alexander is a very happy child, more than anything else. Nothing ever bothers him. He never cries. Is that ever something to take note of? He is one tough, tiny survivor, and obviously into world peace.
No mountains too high for you to climb.
Now for Rosalia and Luciano Theorio. Their little Lawrence was born at 24 weeks and 5 days. His mother had spent days at a 45-degree angle, as so many do. He spent 4 months in the NICU. From a few days old in the NICU to the first time his mother ever held him. At the hospital, well, had they had the equipment to let Lawrence go home, his hospital stay would have been shorter. Now Lawrence is 16 months and laughing and learning how to crawl and walk, getting ready to take on the world. He's also president of the Tiny Survivors Association, and he takes the opportunity at every chance to rally the troops.
I just want you to see. My precious one, my tiny one, lay down your pretty head.
For Marc Tremblay and Sylvie Sylvestre of Montreal, little Emily was born at 25 weeks. She weighed 1 pound and 11 ounces, and she spent 4 months in the NICU. Emily developed BPD, which is a chronic lung disease that typically occurs in very low birth rate. Of the lungs, the larger air passageways are damaged. As a result, oxygen toxicity and ventilation are a problem. Emily was also gavage fed well into her 2nd year. That's where a small, narrow tube is inserted through the nostril and placed down the throat, esophagus, and into the baby's stomach. This allows for the child to feed, even though it can't get the nutrition it needs from breast milk or formula alone. Now Emily Tremblay is a beautiful 21-year-old girl, accomplished young woman working towards her McGill graduation and preparing to experience a full year in Japan. Each year, the Royal Victoria Hospital delivers more than 3,000 babies. But over the years, the philanthropy of many prominent members of the community have helped make the hospital a major center for healthcare and learning throughout Canada. Today, the Royal Victoria Hospital is known for its outstanding reputation as a center for clinical care and research. With your help, families can get their needs met, get the equipment, and help a hospital and medical professionals do the job that they do so very well.